YouTube anime lovers, the Asterisk War, episode 11, as you can see. So let's see. To basically sum it up, I guess you had to say the Luxus, like the weapons, is getting very scary. Like we learn a lot about these weapons. Now, before I get into all that, I'm gonna just say we learned also about Irene and Priscilla, the sister of the tyrant vampire princess. I'm sorry, I just had to look up there to see the little girl name. But Irene, is a scary vampire lady that wields a badass fucking scythe, and Priscilla is her younger sister. So basically, I'm sorry, Ayato. Ayato basically, you know, gets a call from Karen, and she said, "I'm sorry, Ayato, can you help me? I lost Saya." And everybody knows Saya is not good with directions. She's lost, so ain't no telling where she is, but pretty sure she can protect herself. So of course, Yato says, "Alright, I'll be there in a minute." And it's kind of funny because he was talking to Claudia at that moment. And Claudia obviously got the hots for him because she's like, really? Like, she's like, this is our time together. They've been hugging you all this time. And now you're leaving me. And then, Yato kind of blushes like, I'm sorry. Like, I have to go search for it. And, she's like, I'm sorry. I'm just playing teasing with you. So, I think that's pretty cute. Claudia, I still think Ayato should go after Julius, but I like Claudia a lot. So basically, on Ayato's way, going to find, going to look for Saya, basically he run into Priscilla, which is being hunted by like some like six thugs, I guess, and Ayato help her avoid them, and they end up escaping. So with that said, she's like, "Thank you," and he's like, "All right." He's like, "Where's your sister at?" And she's like, "I'm sorry. I called my sister for help." And then at that moment he's like, "Oh no," because here she come, and she's like, "Get your hands off my sister," basically, and she's ready to attack Ayato, but Priscilla like steps up and is like, "No, you won't." Basically, she saved me. I mean, he saved me basically, and Irene's like, "You know what? I owe you one," and basically invites Ayato to dinner. So Julius is kind of like mad at that, like, "What? You do know they're our next opponents?" And I'm like, "What? They're Ayato's and Julius' next opponents is the vampire tyrant." I'm like, "Oh man, it's gonna be a great fucking battle." I'm waiting on the next episode already. So basically they went over to their house. That was pretty nice, and it was kind of like, I don't want to say weird. It was like friendly. Like they didn't have no problems or nothing. And we learned that Priscilla is like, she worried about her sister because after the dinner, she tells them like that auric lux, it changes her. And then she said it changes her and makes it scarier, more aggressive, and she don't like it. So with that said, we see um, Irene go to that redhead guy. I don't know who he is, but he was one of the big head. I mean, I guess he was one of the guys that represent a school. Cause in that meeting he was there with Claudia and some more people, and basically she got into it with him because she's like, "You were supposed to protect my sister if I'm not there," and she swung her scythe at him. It like blocks him, so it did leave him with like a little line of scratch, but he blocks it somehow. And my thing is, is he really that powerful where he's not even worried about the vampire tyrant? It's gonna be. I can already see like this season. I mean, this anime. It's gonna be like 2 to 3 seasons. So I'm happy about that because this is a great fucking anime. So basically, Irene, tells Ayato, like, I forgot the guy's name, but the guy that she's taking orders from want him taken out and his Lux. He's like, why? She says, because something about your Lux, somebody else used that Lux and it was a pretty fucking powerful weapon. And he's like, your Lux is a thorn in the side. And when she said that, like, he automatically thought of like the first episode where, um, Claudia told him that it was a girl that used to use this weapon. And he thought automatically it's his sister. And I done forgot all about, his sister is missing. So I'm like, damn, he still got a mission of his own. I'm just thinking they're in the Phoenix tournament for no reason. But basically at the next scene of the anime, it was like, yeah, Yato asks Jules how you feel about the scythe, and she says it's a trouble weapon, but we'll figure something out. And he sneaks to talk to Claudia, and he just walks in her house, and I'm like, dude, he ain't gonna knock or nothing, but he walks in, and she's asleep, and she wakes up with like a red and a blue eye, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, she's a demon or something, a robot, and she grabs her swords and just attacks Ayato, and I'm like, what the hell? And yeah, to me, he was doing a good job dodging the shit, because I'm like, he should have been dead, but in the end, like, she had him on the floor, was about to, like, you know, do the finishing blow, and he's like, Claudia, wake up, and she woke up. So we learned that she tells us that every Lux has their own personality, and her Lux is probably the worst one. Her Lux actually showed her dying like 1,200 times, I believe. And it was weird because she asked, I have to like, have you ever died before? And he's like, what? Like, no. He said, I have 1,200 times. And I'm like, how old is she? Is she like, I'm thinking she's like immortal or something. I'm like, she got to be immortal because you died 1,200 times. You technically not dying unless, like your heart stopped. So she said basically when she sleeps, her Lux brings her, like, makes her dream of deaths. People attacking her, her drowning in a fire, falling, getting hit with anything, anything. So she says most people that tried to use her Lux couldn't do it just because of, I guess the side effect. So I was like, that's pretty bad, but I'm like, I don't think I can handle that weapon either. But it is a badass weapon. Well, two weapons actually. So he asks more about like the Skype, and she says that's a bad one too. Basically, like she don't want to talk ill of nobody else's weapon, but it drains a lot of the person, and sometimes the weapons can like take over a person's body. And she said where they don't like really realize what they're doing. And kind of proof was right. The proof is in the pudding, basically, right there when she attacked Yato. So that was basically episode 11, YouTube, and it's definitely getting good because Claudia actually asked Ayato like, "Can you join my team for the next tournament?" I forgot it was another tournament, but I'm guessing it's gonna be a 4-man tournament team. And he said, I'll only join you if, Julius join. And she was like disappointed, but she was like, but somehow I knew you were going to say that. It sucks, but it's also helpful because I'm going to ask her anyway. And I'm thinking Claudia, Ayato, Julius. Who's going to be the fourth? Like, I'm like, who the hell is going to be the fourth? That's going to be a crazy ass team. What if it's Karen? It might be Karen. I kind of hope it's Saya, because I like Saya. But I like Karen too, so maybe it's like a 5-man tournament. I wouldn't mind that. But that was episode 11, and that right there just tells me that it's going to be another season of this anime. Like, we got what, maybe like 2 to 3 more episodes. I mean, unless it's like a Dragon Ball Z anime that's going to be going on forever. But I doubt that. So it's like 2 or 3 more episodes of this season left for this anime. So I'm guessing it's going to end with the Phoenix tournament. Then probably start next year sometime with the 4-man tournament. Just what I'm thinking. It's pretty obvious. But, excuse me. That was the Asterisk War. You guys let me know how you feel about this anime in the comments below. Peace out.